Hello all and welcome to this Azure tutorial. In this tutorial, we will discuss about Azure's cognitive services and learn how to analyze a remote image using Azure's computer vision REST API and JavaScript. Before we go further ahead, a couple of things to keep in mind. Calling Azure's cognitive services can potentially incur charges. Also, remember to clean up your resources in Azure at the end of this particular tutorial. A few references. This is an original tutorial from Microsoft and it can be found at this particular URL. I would definitely encourage everyone who's watching this video to please visit this URL. I will be reviewing this tutorial. This is basically a quick start tutorial from Microsoft in this particular video as well. But this is a very good tutorial that can help you to understand how cognitive services works. Also, if you would like to see image analysis in action and in fact other cognitive services as well, you can visit this particular URL and see them in action. There are demos for each of these cognitive services right there for you to go around and play with it, explore as much as possible before you even write a single line of code. In this particular tutorial, we will explore Azure's cognitive services, create a cognitive services account, and then finally run the sample code after making some few required changes. So let me review through some key URLs. So as you see, there are a few URLs right here. This particular URL, the first one that I have highlighted, that talks about computer vision, and we will review through that as well. The second one is the demo that I was talking about. If you would like to go ahead and explore these cognitive services, again, we will review the demo before we jump into the code. And this final URL over here is of the original tutorial that Microsoft has provided. So let me quickly switch to my browser. So this is the URL that talks about computer vision. So what is computer vision? So let me quickly grab my pen. So my pen is right here. Okay, so let us understand what is computer vision. So as you see, Azure's computer vision is a service. Okay, so this is something that you want to keep in mind, especially when it comes to interviews. Okay, that provides access to developers to advanced algorithms that processes images and returns information. Remember, it processes images and returns information after it has analyzed that particular image. You can either upload an image or specify an image URL. Okay, that's up to you. If you have a local image, you can upload it. Otherwise, you can provide an image URL. We will be providing image URLs. And it can basically go ahead and analyze the content, especially in this case, an image in different ways. For example, it can tell you what are the visual features you are interested in. And we will look at the visual features shortly. It can also determine the content of the image, whether it's an adult content, whether there is any racy content. It can also identify human faces in an image. Okay, so there's SDK, or you can use the API directly, as you see right here. And let us scroll down. Now, for analyzing images, okay, you can tag for visual features like there's furniture, tools, plants, animals, accessories, whatever. It's outdoor, indoor, foreground, what is in the foreground. Basically, it kind of just goes ahead and looks for, recognizable objects, living things, scenery, actions, etc. You can detect objects, detect brands, if there are any, categorize an image. So basically, it will tell you something about the image. Okay. So currently, English is the only language supported for tagging and categorizing it. In future, hopefully, there will be other languages as well. It can describe an image. It can tell you what it thinks this image is after its analysis. And one of the things that you will notice with all of the responses that comes back is a confidence score. Now, the confidence score can be from lowest to highest. The lowest is 0, highest is 1. Okay, so it's basically going to be between 0 and 1. It can detect any faces, detect image types, and then detect any color scheme, whether it's black and white color, are there any specific sense of colors, that means any tones, etc. Generate a thumbnail. Now there's a separate tutorial on this. I will, if I get time, I'll definitely create a video on that as well. But this is a very good tutorial. If you want, you can go ahead and explore that tutorial as well. There's a demo also on that very same link regarding this particular tutorial. It can get you any areas of interest if you are, getting some coordinates or anything of that sort. Now there are other things that also the computer vision API can do. It can do optical character recognition, or OCR. I believe all of you have definitely filled one of those forms where they have those boxes, where they tell you to fill your name, right? And there's a box and they tell you to put it in, capital letters in black or blue ink, and you have to like write your name like A, B, C, D. So essentially, these boxes are eventually processed by a software, and it does an optical character recognition and also an ink character recognition. So that technology is also available. If you want, you can explore that. If there's any moderate, if you want to, if there's any content, depending upon if there's any adult content or racy content, if you want, you can use containers, up to you. And then finally, the image requirements, JPEG, and the image size should be less than 4 MB. And image should be greater than 50 by 50 pixels. Okay, so basically it's 50 by 50 into 4200 by 4200. This is the minimum, this is the maximum. Any privacy data, and again, this part. So if there are other quick start guides, like for example, analyzing a local image, extracting handwritten text, generating a thumbnail as we discussed earlier, if you want, you are more than welcome to explore these quick starts as well. They're fairly simple and straightforward to, just go ahead and explore them. Okay, so let me go ahead and close this. I'm not going to save. Okay, so we understood what is computer vision at a very high level, right? So essentially, there is no rocket science over here, right? It's a very simple API that you provide an image or an image URL. It processes that behind the scenes and returns to you an output. An output is typically going to be a JSON output, and it is going to analyze that particular image depending upon whatever categories or whatever parameters you pass. And let us look at that. Okay, so let us go to uh, this particular demo. Now there is an image as you see over here, and it is basically saying that, hey, what are the various things that it can see here, right? So it can see that there's a train, there's a platform. Let me just zoom in a little more. Okay, so there's a train, there's a platform, station, building is indoor, it's a subway, there's a track, walking, there's some few people, waiting, pulling board, people, men. It probably detected a man over here. Somewhere luggage, somebody's probably carrying a bag, holding large. There's a woman as well, that is true. Probably this is a woman right here or towards the left. The yellow suitcase, I'm not quite sure. Yellow is because of the strip. There's again, it is probably seeing some suitcase somewhere. Again, there was a bag. And again, the confidence level is 0.83. So essentially, it thinks that basically there are people waiting in a train station, as you see right here. And it has, again, provided several tags, and you see there's a confidence level. The confidence level that there's a train in it is 0.99, which is the highest, and pulling is 0.43. So I don't think there's anything that is being pulled over here, but essentially there's a platform, it's a station, it's indoor. As you see, all of those, the first four, confidence level is 0.9 something, so it's significantly high. And again, it has detected some objects also over here, so it's the same thing. It does recognize that this is a subway train, and the format is JPEG. Dimensions, it's not black and white. There is no adult content, and there is no racy content, and the categories it has given is train, train station, trans train station. Okay, and the score is 0.98. So it is fairly confident that this is a train station. So this is a demo right here. This is the URL. Okay. And you could pretty much go ahead and give any URL of your choice. So let us go ahead and, copy. I have a few URLs of some of the wallpapers here. Okay. And I'm going to put this URL right here and click on submit. And hopefully it loads this particular image. So as you see, this is an image right here. And let us see this image. So I'm going to. So this image is, if anybody is interested, I love this place. It's extremely beautiful. As you see, this image is of Iceland. And as you see, there's a mountain over here, there's water, and somewhere in a tiny little corner, I believe there is a boat, as you see. Right here, there is a boat. I'm not sure if you guys can see it or not, but I'm just going to brown this a little. And as you see, there's a little boat over here. There is, not sure if there's a shore or something, but it looks like a shore. Okay, so we saw our image, and that's our image. And let us go ahead and see what processing it has done. So it sees that there is water, the confidence level is high, there's mountain again, there's cloud, it's outdoor, nature, landscape, and yes, it figured out that there is a reflection, and it is not extremely confident, but it is significantly confident, 0.89, so that's not bad. Again, it feels that there's a lake, but again, it's not confident that there's a lake. It could be a river as well. But the water is still, so probably it's a lake, maybe. But anyway, and it also sees that there's a shore. It's not 100% confident, so the confidence level is significantly less, as you see. Okay, so let us scroll down. And the description that it has given is water, outdoor, nature. There's a boat, as we saw at the corner, lake, mountain, background, body, river, large, sitting. Sitting is basically still. That's what I have seen, because whenever I analyze images which is still, like not a waterfall or something, it says it's sitting most of the times. Again, there's sun, because there's probably sun over here, and there's sunset. And the text that it has given is a body of water with mountain in background. So it figured out that there is a water body and there's a mountain. Okay, and again, it's JPEG. It has given some code, color codes, etc. It's outdoor, and the dominant color is white, and there's no adult content or racy content as a part of this image. So this is the demo. Feel free to explore this particular demo using, your own images. There could be some times wherein if you give an image and it does not find the image, or it's not able to load the image, it's going to throw up an error. Okay. Now there are several other demos, as I was saying, like for example, this is to read printed and handwritten text in images if you want to explore that. There are certain other image over here, like recognizing celebrities and landmarks. I think there's another one. I think this kind of is analyzing video in near real time if you want to kind of explore that. And this is generating a thumbnail if you would like to generate that. There's several other ones over here. So feel free to explore. This is a very good URL for you to go ahead and just understand what this whole computer vision API is, and explore its power. Okay, now let us go ahead and look at the actual tutorial. So this is a tutorial from Microsoft. I had shared the URL, but the URL is right here. As you see, this is a URL. Okay, and let us review through this and see how we can leverage this particular piece of sample code and create our own little HTML to basically analyze these images using the computer vision's REST API. Okay, so let me scroll down, and as you see, there are some basic changes that we need to make. We need to replace a subscription key, the base URI if we want, and save this as an HTML, and we should be good to go. Okay, so let us review through the code first. So this is the code right here, and let me zoom in a little bit. There you go. Okay, so here, as you see, this is analyze, and it's basically added a script to Ajax APIs, which is fine. Scroll further down. As you see, the first thing that we need to do is we need to replace a subscription key. So we will create an account in Azure for our cognitive services, and we'll get the subscription key and replace it here. The next is the URI of our picture. So there is a URI by default. This is the image, this is the URI for our API, where our API is going to be located. So for this particular tutorial, they have created the free subscription or the trial subscription cognitive services account in West Central US. And hence you see that this is the API for West Central US. Depending upon wherever you are, just go and get that region and replace it. So I'll be basically creating it in East, so it'll be eastus.api cognitive.microsoft.com. Okay. Now the next thing over here is the request parameters. That hey, when you're going to process an image, what do I want you to process? So I want you to process the visual features. And in that visual features, what do I want you to process? I want you to tell me the categories, the description, and the color. If there are any details, you can share that. And I want you to share everything in English. Now, remember, we saw earlier that currently the language that is supported for captioning or anything of that else of that sort is English. Hopefully later on, there will be other languages as well. Finally, we are going to display the URL, and there is a box at the bottom, input image. So we'll put our URL right there. And finally, as you see over here, we make the call to our REST API. So that's where our REST API is being called. And I hope that by now you have figured out that there is no rocket science in this code, right? All that we are doing is we are trying to get an image, a URL of an image essentially, and we are getting that image and we are calling the API and we are sending that image to image URL in this case to this particular API. It is analyzing it behind the scenes and it's basically sending us back a response. So this is where our API is being called with our params. Okay, and if I scroll further down, you will see that this is the request body that we are sending to this particular API. This is the source image URL. And finally, what we are getting is the response that we will display in a response text area. And if at all it fails for whatsoever reason, then whatever error we get, we will display that error. So this is the script over here. If we scroll further down, this is the HTML. As you see, this is the URL of the image. So this is the image. Let us see which this image is. Okay, so I'm going to copy this particular URL and then add another. Just go here and paste it right there. So this is an image of a waterfall. And this waterfall is the Shaki waterfall is based in Armenia. It's a very beautiful place. It's simply awesome. Okay, just in case if you would want to visit, I don't want people asking me questions, hey, where is this located? It's located in Armenia. Okay, so let us go back and we will be analyzing that. And we have a text area over here where we will display our response, and that's pretty much it. It's very simple and very straightforward, nothing fancy. Okay, so I'm going to basically go ahead and copy this piece of code, and I'm going to open up a notepad and I will paste my code in this notepad right here. Okay, so nothing fancy. You can use any text editor of your choice. So the first thing that we need to do is get a subscription key. So before we get the subscription key, we need to create an account in Azure. So let us go ahead and do that. So let me quickly go to portal.azure.com. Hopefully it logs me in. And there you go. So what resource groups do I have? Okay, I don't have any existing resource group or anything. Okay, so let us look for cognitive services. So there it is, cognitive services. Click on cognitive services and click on create cognitive services. And let's say computer vision. There you go. And let us create basically an API or an account for this. So let's click on create. I'm going to give it NAM computer vision. Location is going to be East US. Pricing tier is going to be F0. And resource group, I'm going to create a new resource group. I'm going to say NAM computer vision RG and click on OK. So I've given all the parameters, click on create, and hopefully this should be created and deployed in a few minutes. Okay. So I believe it is, oh, there you go. My deployment is complete, and go to this resource, and there it is. So as you see, it is telling you over here to grab your keys. So let us go ahead and do that. So let us click on keys, and that's where my subscription key is. I'm going to copy the key one, or the first key over here. Okay, go back. And where is it? Oh, there it is. And replace the key right here. There you go. So there you go. We have replaced our subscription key. After replacing our subscription key, we need to get the API for our URI. So here it is West Central US. So depending upon what region you had, you have to replace it with that particular region. So in my case, it is East. So I'm going to say East US. Everything else remains same. Okay. Now let's say if you did not know what was the your APIs, your API calls domain. So how will you figure that out? So if you go back over here, click on overview, and after you click on overview, you will see that right there. So as you see, this is in the overview, and there you can see the endpoint. So it's eastus.api cognitive.microsoft.com. So simply just put the name of whatever region where you have created this particular cognitive services account, and you should be good to go. So let us continue further ahead. So we have replaced our subscription key. We have given our API URL as well, URI base, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is ready. So let us go ahead and save this. I'm going to go ahead and save this on my local desktop. Say save, and I'm going to save this as an HTML. So I'm going to say comp vision.html and all files. I'm going to copy the path and click on save. And I believe it's right here. So let me go ahead and simply double click on this, and it should open up. So there it is, right there. And let us execute it. So this is the URI of the image, which was our original image, which is the waterfall image right here. And as you see, it is telling us that it is outdoor, it is gray, green, it has nature, water, waterfall, rock, mountain, rocky, grass, hill, etc. And so this is a waterfall, and as I was telling you, I don't see any sitting over here. So I think it figures out that whether it is moving or sitting. So it's a waterfall, so it's moving, so it does not tell me it's sitting, which is a good part. And I don't know why it's saying snow. I don't see any snow, but maybe there might be some snow around. Okay, and finally it is saying it's essentially a large waterfall over a rocky cliff, which is perfectly fine, and the confidence level of that is 0.91. So this is fabulous, right? So let us analyze a couple of other images. So I have a few more images with me right here, so I'm going to use these. So copy that, and I'm going to paste it right there, and click on analyze image. And this is a picture of lily. It's a lily flower. So let us see what it thinks about this. So it understood that it's the plant and it's a flower, which is good. The background is black, which is great. Foreground is also black. Not sure why, but anyways. It's a plant, it's a flower, it's sitting. Again, it's sitting because it's a still flower, it's not moving or anything. It's dark, yes, it's dark over here, and it's white. Awesome. And the text that it has given is a close-up of a flower, and the confidence level is not all that high, but it's still decent, is 0.86, which is very good. Let us look at another image. So this is a different image, and I'm going to copy this, and let us paste this image right here and click on analyze. So this image is of New York City. As you see, you can see Empire State Building right here. There's some water and there are other buildings, there are streets, etc. So it figured out that there are buildings, it's a building and a street, it's outdoors, which is good. And foreground, background color is gray. Probably, yeah, there are a lot of buildings, so it's maybe gray. Okay, so what are the tags? It is outdoor, there are buildings, it's a city, which is good. There's water, yes, there's water right here behind it. If you see, if I paste this JPEG for folks who don't know New York very well, as you see, there's water. This is Empire State. This is, I think, Tower of Bank of America. This is Goldman Sachs. This is New Jersey. And this is, if I'm not wrong, this is Statue of Liberty. And there are some boats, etc., going back and forth. Awesome. So let us go back and see what it has analyzed. So basically it's saying it's large, it's view. Not sure why it's saying it's sitting, it's actually a river, but anyways. It can find a clock, not sure where it found the clock. It's cloudy, it's a tower, yes, there's a tower in between. It's a tall skyscraper, there's blue and there's white. Yes, there's blue and white because there is sky. And essentially the tag that it is associated, or the text is a view of a city, which it is quite confident because the confidence level is 0.96, which is absolutely great. So essentially this is how you can do, depending upon your image, sometimes you can get an error as well. So for example, if the image is inaccessible for whatsoever reason, I'll basically just demo you. Okay, so this is not accessible, at least it was not. So as it will give you an error saying that it's not accessible. So don't worry, just go ahead and grab some images which are truly accessible, which are like common images. You can probably sometimes even wiki images work, or just go and grab some wallpapers or something as I did, and you should be good to go. So I hope that you liked this particular tutorial. This is not one of my originals, but I still wanted to go ahead and make a video on this because a lot of people are interested in cognitive services, whether it's Azure, AWS, or whatever else, but they are hesitant in exploring. So as you see, there's absolutely no rocket science in this. I did not do anything. Okay, the API did everything. All that we did was just provided a URL and waited for a response, provided a few parameters, just like how you would call any other normal API by giving some basic parameters and expecting a response back. The entire analysis, everything else, as you can see, it is extremely powerful. Okay, it's decent enough. It's not the best, but it's decent enough, and it can analyze images pretty well. So the API does everything. All that you need to do is just call it. Okay, guys, so that's it from me for today. I will record a few other videos and have them posted shortly. If you like this video, please press the like icon, and feel free to provide your feedback. So thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.